Alright, so now what we're going to do is flip back to Photoshop, and we're going to build our second artboard, which has the Flamingo here on the left and the copy on the right. So let's jump back to Dreamweaver. We can reuse everything that we already have. So we're going to go ahead and select the div, the whole thing, copy it, go below it, make another line, and paste. And once we do that, you'll notice that we now have two divs. So we're going to make some modifications to the secondary div so that we can write into the children of this, and change things around. So we're going to add a class to this div here. So right now it says tile. We're going to hit a space, and we're going to type horizontal. That's it. You won't see anything happen new over here. We've just added another identifier that we can style. I'm going to save that. I'm going to flip back to the main CSS and scroll down to where we have our tile setting, and let's start doing some overrides for our horizontal tile. So what I do want to do is I want to be a little more specific than just using horizontal. So on the source code, I have tile and I have horizontal set right here. So you'll notice that there are no periods there, obviously, because that's how you set them within HTML. But in CSS, you do need the periods. So I have a tile div that also has horizontal attached to it. So I do another dot, and I type horizontal. Dot tile, dot horizontal, and that's how I define a div that has two classes on it. Curly brace. Now I just have to override a couple settings to make this do what I want it to do. I'm going to keep everything else. The border, the background color, the shadow, I want all that. All I want to do right now is make it wider. So let's go back here. Let's take a look at what we got. Rectangle 1, command click, and go to info palette, and we're 620 pixels wide. That's good. And 300 pixels high. So just like the other one, we're going to leave height alone. Let's just set the width to 620. Back to Dreamweaver. We got our horizontal tile. Now I can go back over here to layout, and I could set my width, but I'm actually just going to type it out here. Width 620 pixels, and you'll see that go ahead and give me a 620 pixel wide block, but I still have height, and that's okay because we haven't moved the other elements here. So what we need to do is we need to float this image so that everything that's underneath it to the right will float to the right. So we float something left, moves it over to the left, takes all the other elements, all the block level elements, and puts them over to the right. So let's do that. So we have tile horizontal. We're going to go to the next line, and we're going to do this again. Tile dot horizontal. That's our definition for this particular object. We're going to hit space because now we want to put a child of that object, img, and to our curly braces. Hit return. So what that's going to do is that's going to target this image inside the horizontal tile div. So let's go ahead and head on over to our CSS designer. Let's go to layout, and let's scroll down to float. We're going to click float left, and all of a sudden you're going to see it do what it needs to do. All the stuff floats over here to the right, so that's good. We want that. But it seems like we're outside of our. We don't have any padding on the bottom. We're going to show you We're going to show you how to fix that. So our image is correct. I don't have any padding over here or margin over here between all this copy and this image. Easiest way to do it is just set it on the image, as opposed to having to set it on the H2 and on the paragraph tag and on the button. So let's scroll up here, and let's put some margin. Again, margin's on the outside. And let's go to 15 because that's what we've been using. And that moves everything over to the right. Now, what you saw happen now is that goes ahead and moves that over and everything aligns neatly. And we're kind of done. That's it. Let's hit save. Let's go back to source code and flip back to Google Chrome. And now you see we have our wide horizontal for the Flamingo, and we have our tall version for the Flamingo. One quick thing on the page that we looked at previously, the wide one was below the tall one. Easy to switch. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. Let's scroll down. Let's choose the tile horizontal div, and let's cut, Command X, and let's go after the other div and just paste. Save it. That's it. There it is. Done.